This felt personal for reporting. According to the online buzz, Karlie didn't just spill tea, she emptied an entire boiling pot. The kind of receipts that prompted fans to rewatch the trailer and play detective. There's talk of hidden money accounts, unusual flights, late-night meets, and even whispers of another woman that no one saw it coming. And Kirk's silence speaks volumes. And fans saw that sneaky smirk on Karlie's face in the clip, gave fuel to the fire. Did she plan it? Was it vengeance? Is Karlie finally revealing something Rashida should have known all along? Buckle up, because if the rumor's true, Atlanta is about to burst again. Karlie Red has always been able to stir the pot. But this time, she sent shockwaves across Atlanta like never before. When the new Love and Hip Hop Atlanta trailer debuted, fans anticipated conflict. Sure, there were some showy moments, a few heartfelt confessions, and perhaps a couple of sneaky stares across the reunion sofa, but no one was prepared for what happened next. In just a few seconds of trailer time, Karlie managed to turn the entire plot on its head. Her face did not show fury. It did not even express grief. It conveyed peaceful assurance. The kind of confidence that comes from knowing you have the truth in your hands. According to reports, she was rumors started flying as soon as viewers saw her clutching what appeared to be a hefty manila folder. Lips pursed, eyes fixed on Kirk Frost. The video did not include much audio, but what viewers could see from her lips and body language was enough to fire up social media. She stated, "You lied to everyone." Others swear they heard her mumble, "I've got the proof." It was enough to set up a firestorm. Within hours, the phrase Kirk's double life became viral, and viewers began piecing together evidence from previous seasons like seasoned detectives. The whispers were not new. Kirk Frost has long been the focus of conjecture. From infidelity to concealment, he has left a record of questionable decisions. But what set this occasion apart was who delivered the claimed truth. Karlie wasn't simply another cast member. She has a past with Kirk. She has expertise, maintaining receipts. Okay, but most importantly, she had motivation. Years of side-eye looks, uneasy, quiet during group moments, and sudden tension between her and Rashida had established the groundwork that spectators could not ignore. So, when she supposedly stepped into the reunion with papers, screenshots, and phone records, it felt like the moment everyone had been waiting for. Fans online began breaking down possibilities. Timelines. One Twitter user shared screenshots from season 9, when Kirk was inexplicably away for a few days, and noted how Karlie was very quiet during that time. Another fan discovered a footage from an old after-show interview in which Karlie mentioned that some individuals hold secrets because they are terrified of what will happen once the truth is revealed. Nobody took it seriously at the time. It felt like a warning. As word spread, sources close to the production began releasing information. Nothing has been confirmed, of course, but enough to keep the buzz going. A source claimed Karlie's folder flight receipts showed Kirk flying alone on the dates he claimed to be on family vacation. Another indicated hotel reservations under a name that sounded eerily similar to an old flame Kirk had denied involvement with. Then came the real shocker. Claimed text communications between Kirk and a lady who addressed him as her man. Even though he was still married to Rashida at the time, the supporters completely lost it. Comment sections were swamped with disbelief, support for Rashida, and indignation over Kirk's silence. But what stung worst was Karlie's calm demeanor throughout. No screaming. No spectacular outbursts, just a calm, controlled energy. This was the kind of calm that only comes when you realize you've been holding on to something enormous for a long time, waiting for the right moment to let it out. Backstage tensions were reportedly at an all-time high. Kirk, who is generally reserved during drama, was claimed to have departed the set mid-shoot, refusing to comment on the matter. Rashida, apparently terrified, was captured on camera going out with her microphone still on, telling producers, "I need Atha." Rest of the cast reacted with wide-eyed disbelief and slight smirks. Some people knew this. I was on my way. Others had no idea, but no one could turn away. What caused the timing added to the complexity of the problem. It wasn't just any season. It was meant to be the big return, a redemption arc, a reunion of old faces. After years of ups and downs, Kirk and Rashida now have the opportunity to move forward. But when Karlie stepped into the spotlight and supposedly blew everything open, the entire dynamic changed. The focus abruptly shifted, away from reconciliation. It was time for reckoning. The fans were living for it. Memes began to appear within hours. Some praised Karlie for finally exposing Kirk. while others dragged Kirk for thinking he may be able to keep Bones buried by 2025. Fan pages began counting down to the complete episode's release as if it were a national event, and in the midst of it all, Karlie remained mute on social media, letting the footage and rumors speak for her. But even while the pandemonium unfolded in front of the camera, insiders believed there was more simmering beneath. People close to the issue suggested that what Karlie exhibited on tape was only a portion of what she had. A teaser, if you will. According to reports, the true dirt was in messages that were too explicit and revealing to broadcast. Producers were reportedly scrambling to strike a balance between sensational television and probable legal consequences. Kirk allegedly threatened to, if the footage was not handled respectfully, the season should be called off. Still, respect may be the last thing anyone expects at this point as the excitement spread. So did speculation about Kirk's double existence. Questions started to pile up. Who was the other woman? Was she still in the photo? Did Rashida know about this before Karlie revealed it? And, more importantly, why now? The final question sparked a lot of speculation among enthusiasts. Some speculated that Karlie had been sitting on this information for years, waiting for the right moment to strike. Others suspected she might have just discovered it recently and couldn't keep quiet. Some speculated that this was her manner of retaliating against Kirk for an off-camera incident that only the cast and crew were aware of. Whatever the cause, one thing was obvious. Karlie's move altered the tone of the entire season. It wasn't only about drama anymore, it was all about transparency, accountability, and unwinding the web. Kirk had spent many years weaving, and with each fresh film, leak, and reaction that appeared online, it felt like the walls were gradually closing in. Karlie has dropped the match. Okay, now everyone was simply waiting to see how far the fire spread. The energy backstage was tense like nothing before. When security was directed to keep close to the changing rooms, the cameras had not yet started rolling. Karlie reportedly wanted a private moment with producers, but no one knew what she was going to ask for. Rumors spread swiftly. Some crew members hinted that she wanted to present more proof off camera. Others alleged she was seeking safety following received veiled threats. There was just one certainty. Whatever she had, she carried it with her. That day was not just for television, it was personal. When the reunion taping commenced, the entire ensemble was on edge. Kirk did not return to his seat. Rashida sat alone, staring into space and fumbling with her rings as if she were trying to pull herself up out of when the host attempted to shift the subject back to safer territory. Spectators saw how uncomfortable everyone appeared, but Karlie sat straight, back tall, and gazed forward, like someone's been waiting for this moment her whole life. Footage obtained later revealed a previously unseen video of her speaking straight to the host while clutching a single written word message between her fingertips. Her tone was cool, but her words hurt hard. "This isn't about petty drama," she explained. "This is about a man lying to his wife and the rest of the world, thinking he could walking as if nothing happened." The studio went completely silent. Online fans started sharing freeze frames from the trailer and comparing them to previous events. A side-by-side comparison revealed Kirk wearing the same outfit in a hotel room photo as in an old vlog he had filmed with Rashida, but stamps did not line up. The internet has become its own investigative agency. Reddit discussions have popped with theories, timings, and ideas regarding who the mystery woman might be. Then came the supposed voicemail. According to sources close to Karlie, one of her most damaging pieces of evidence was a voice memo saved months ago. It features a woman with a sweet southern accent, allegedly remarked, "I know you have to play husband on TV, but I'm tired of being your secret." Fans quickly began comparing sounds, trying to match the audio with any known woman connected to Kirk in the past. It became a full-fledged manhunt. Manhunt has been blown. While Kirk remained mute, Rashida's social media posts revealed a different story. Within hours of the trailer becoming viral, she unfollowed Kirk on Instagram. The timeline was undeniable. Then she shared a mysterious narrative, a dark screen with white letters that stated, "Loyalty does not have a reset button." Fans went crazy. Comments flooded her newsfeed. Some letters were supportive, while others were angry, not only at Kirk, but also at how long Rashida had allegedly endured in silence. Cast members began, "I am also reacting." Spice tweeted, "Sometimes the truth doesn't come out until people are tired of keeping it in." Erica Mena liked several tweets that supported Karlie. Even Yon Dandy weighed in during a podcast interview. adding, "I'm not trying to get into nobody's business, but I respect a woman." Karlie's timing was also criticized by some fans as being overly deliberate, despite the fact that she is the one who provides confirmation of the truth. They pointed out that the trailer suggested she dropped the receipts, just as Kirk and Rashidita were attempting to rebuild. "This feels like sabotage, not sisterhood," one reader commented. Others responded by noting, "The truth can never be bad timing. It's simply inconvenient when it exposes a lie." Then another, a lady named Tasha, who was unknown to most viewers, said on TikTok that she had been in an on-and-off relationship with Kirk for 2 years. Her video did not offer substantial proof, but she did reveal some private information about Kirk's tattoos, bedroom habits, and favorite phrases, which raised questions among fans. "He always says, 'I'm handling it' when he's dodging responsibility," she remarked in her film. Within hours, archival clips of Kirk repeating that same statement in previous seasons were spreading again, adding a whole new aspect to the growing story. It wasn't only what Karlie shared, it was what others felt comfortable revealing after her. More rumors, more stories began to surface, including one from an alleged ex who said Kirk offered to fly her to Miami in exchange for privacy. Another claimed he promised to leave Rashida after the cameras were turned off. It was a digital avalanche. Meanwhile, production was apparently rushing. While some execs enjoyed the viral publicity, others were concerned about the plotline. The situation was getting out of hand, especially since Karlie had supposedly threatened to post the complete receipts online if her section was altered. She was well aware of the fanbase's backing. Every clip and story fueled people's need for the truth. And the longer Kirk remained silent, the louder the noise became. Behind the scenes, sources claimed Rashida was horrified, not only ashamed, but also broken. She apparently had no idea the scope of Kirk's alleged secret life. According to one insider, she began questioning every business trip, late-night studio session, and moment he had been reachable. They say she's trying to keep it together for the cameras, but behind closed doors those close to her believe that what hurt her the most was not the betrayal, but who Karlie and Rashida had had their ups and downs, but they had once supported each other as the program progressed. Producers reportedly had Rashidita stopped filming many times due to emotional breakdowns, and one crew member overheard her exclaim, "I just feel stupid. I defended him every time." Another reported, Kirk refused to return to the scene unless certain material was eliminated. None of this made it into the teaser, but fans could feel the strain. There was no fake that type of suffering. Karlie, on the other hand, remained stone-faced and did not yell. She didn't cry. She simply handed over her evidence and said, "Do with it whatever you want." It wasn't the delivery. Fans expected it to be colder and more methodical. Viewers couldn't stop talking about her change, which only added to its power. Karlie, once renowned for her messy antics and on-again, off-again romances, was suddenly being hailed the truthbearer of season 13. However, not everyone saw her as a hero. Some questioned her motives. Was this really about Rashida? One blogger questioned whether this was about vengeance. It was a valid question. Kirk and Karlie had a history that had never been fully addressed. Rumors of flirtations, tension-filled chats, and unspoken shade had lurked just below the surface. And now, with this startling disclosure, many began questioning, what was this about? Justice or getting even? The distinctions were further blurred with each passing hour. And online arguments raged, fans chose sides. And as the actors returned to their homes and phones, one thing became painfully obvious. This was no longer merely a storyline. It was personal. It was raw, and it wasn't over. Whatever everyone knew what happened next, the truth had been revealed, and nothing would ever be the same. The consequences were immediate. Within 24 hours following the trailer's release, fan hypotheses exploded into full-fledged studies. Bloggers conducted Instagram lives, dissecting down every word Karlie said and every reaction shot Rashida took. People weren't just watching the show anymore, they were analyzing it like a crime scene. Timelines were created, clip compilations went viral, and at the heart of it all, Karlie dropped the receipts. Which made things more intense wasn't only what was displayed on television, it was also what was happening off of it. Several cast members had gone. Kirk didn't simply ignore the incident. He apparently refused to film. After he refused to leave the parking lot during a scheduled confessional moment, producers were forced to pivot and send a replacement camera crew to his car. According to a source on site, Kirk was pacing, looking upset, and muttering to himself, This wasn't Rashida, on the other hand. Kept a safe distance from those people who saw her behind the scenes said she wasn't lashing out or yelling, but rather somber and withdrawn. One of the makeup artists allegedly overheard her say, "I don't even know who I married." It wasn't simply sadness anymore. It was the awareness that the life she thought she had built could have been supported by lies. As all of this unfolded, Karlie appeared to stand in the eye of the storm, unaffected, unconcerned, and unnaturally serene. She was not blogging. Fans began speculating that she had been planned this moment for months, if not years, as she was not reacting to the pandemonium. Old episodes were revisited, with admirers analyzing her every comment. One particularly popular hypothesis referred to a season 11 scene in which Karlie made a cryptic remark to Kirk in the midst of a heated quarrel. She had remarked, "You best hope your secrets remain buried." At the time, spectators assumed it was a throwaway sentence. Everything took on a new significance, and fans couldn't get enough of it. More gasoline was added to the fire when an anonymous blog disclosed what they said were email exchanges between Kirk and a booking agent using a fictitious name. The emails, while nothing was confirmed, fans speculated on private out-of-town appearances and specific requests, as well as a secret rendezvous. Kirk's reputation was already in ruins, and this only made things worse. But what really pushed things over the line was the unexpected appearance of another woman. She came out online. She didn't provide her true name, but she claimed to have been in a relationship with Kirk for almost a year and had screenshots to prove it, text communications containing flirtation, hotel reservations, and, most damningly, messages in which Kirk allegedly instructed her not to upload any images of them together due to the program. Fans were stunned. This woman didn't appear to want fame. She didn't solicit for fans or clout. She just posted her narrative, deleted the screenshots, and vanished. Some fans questioned her, but many thought it perfectly matched everything Karlie had said. The idea of Kirk having a double life was no longer just a theory, it was becoming something fans believed, and Rashida may eventually have to accept it. Inside the cast circle, things were getting even more divided. While some, such as Spice and Eric, during a behind-the-scenes conversation, Bambi apparently referred to the situation as messy for no apparent reason. While some remained supportive of Karlie's daring announcement, others were not impressed. Scrappy allegedly questioned Kirk alone, asking him, "Is any of this true?" The explanation Kirk gave was not published, but the look on his face, according to the source, was enough to answer everything. Scrappy was subsequently seen taping a one-on-one confessional, and he appeared extremely dissatisfied, shaking his head and stating, "Man, we're too grown for this." And then came the leaked footage, not official, not polished, simply a shaky behind-the-scenes movie that someone from the crew Karlie is seen heading out of a private room, followed by Rashida. The two, there is no yelling, no crying, just a long, uncomfortable silence until Rashida, he gently says, "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" Karlie doesn't answer immediately. Then she pauses, turns back, and simply replies, "Because you wouldn't have believed me. Have you believed me?" Then she comes to a halt, turns around, and simply says, "Because you wouldn't have believed me." That one sentence shattered the internet. It did not come from the main episode, and it was not accompanied by music or dramatic editing, but it impacted harder than anything else so far. Fans flooded the comments with sympathy for Rashida and doubt about Karlie's genuine intentions. Some thought Karlie had done what needed to be done, while others felt she had waited too long, and that if she genuinely cared for Rashida, would have spoken up before the cameras were rolling. It was a dispute with no obvious answer. Back in the real world, Kirk's companies began to feel the heat. One of his eateries was reportedly struck with a wave of nasty people were upset, disappointed, and ready to cancel him after reading internet evaluations concerning his character rather than the cuisine. Fans who had formerly supported Kirk and Rashida's rebuilding storyline felt duped. How many times are we going to back a man who continues to do the same dirty work? One spectator said. Still, there were people defending Kirk. Some said the receipts were inflated. Others claimed, "We never actually saw the full proof. This might all be for ratings." A few people argued, but their voices were quieter now. They were drowned out by the thunderous shout of fans who felt as if the truth had finally been revealed after being kept hidden for far too long. Rashida's quiet stood out above anything else. No statements, no interviews, and no response. Fans kept scrolling her page, hoping for anything, but nothing happened. Perhaps that was the most powerful reaction of all, because when you discover your complete reality has been disturbed, and there are no words except anguish, Karlie's authority in this moment was evident. She was not gloating. She was not playing the victim. She was merely standing tall in the midst of the hurricane she had caused. She knew the truth, or at least her interpretation of it, and she let it speak for itself. The world listened, all of from the receipts to the stillness. It seemed as if a reality TV moment had spilled over into real life. It was no longer just amusement, it was betrayal. It was exposure. It was heartbreaking. And no matter how hard the network tried to control the consequences, the harm had already been done. Too many individuals had witnessed, experienced, and believed it. Now there was no turning back. Nobody could have guessed precisely how deep the cracks would be. The trailer had only been a spark. But now the fire was destroying everything. Production was officially in turmoil. Tire scenes needed to be reworked. Scheduled interviews were cancelled because cast members either refused to appear on camera or sought to examine their material. Beforehand, the network found itself in the midst of a tempest that they had not anticipated. They wanted ratings. Yeah, but not at the expense of full cast meltdowns and real-life relationships breaking down on camera. However, it is exactly what was happening. Sources from within the production team began releasing more information, presenting a picture of complete breakdown. Kirk had reportedly threatened legal action. Take action if specific footage is shown. Some claimed he even contacted the network's lawyers, demanding that the sequences with Karlie's evidence be completely erased. Wasn't having it, she allegedly threatened producers that if they attempted to edit her out or diminish her tale, she would publish it herself, unedited, unfiltered, and unforgiving. The network found itself in a difficult balance. On one side, they had Kirk, a longtime cast member with business connections and a sizable fan base. On the other hand, they had Karlie, who had just delivered the series' most significant scandal in years. And then there was Rashida, the show's heartthrob for many viewers, who is now caught up in a public nightmare. What made matters worse was that supporters refused to let this go. Social media wasn't moving forward. Hashtags such as hashtag Kirk revealed and hashtag Justice for Ray's DA trended for several days. People dredged up old film, made timelines, and cross-referenced dates. They started seeing flaws not only in Kirk's story, but in the entire narrative that the program had been attempting to sell for years. Kirk and Rashida are the power couple that overcome everything. That story was going apart. And it wasn't because of a messy affair or an ambiguous charge. It was because this time, the treachery was documented with specifics, receipts, voice messages, and screenshots. It comes from someone with nothing to lose and everything to gain. She proved it, and the fans believed her. Rashida's emotional state deteriorated while she was backstage. One report stated that she refused to share a dressing room with Kirk. Another reported she requested to be recorded separately for the remainder of the season. She does not even want to be near him. Someone on the crew stated, "It's not about rage anymore, it's about pain." Crew members stated that she had lengthy off-camera chats with both producers and close friends on set. Someone overheard her say, "I should have known. I just didn't want to see it." That affected people deeply because Rashida had portrayed herself. Others claimed she only came forth when it benefited her the most. The conversation became ugly, but through all the thing remained obvious amidst the hubbub. The truth had emerged, and it could not be undone. Even bloggers who typically played it safe began addressing Kirk directly. They questioned his quiet refusal to communicate and avoidance of the situation. One renowned podcaster stated, "This ain't about TV anymore." Kirk's had none of that. Still, Kirk remained silent. There are no remarks or interviews, just silence. Fans filled in the stillness. Blanks. Assuming the worst, they believed the rumors, because in the world of reality TV, silence almost always indicates guilt. The season had not even been entirely aired yet. The harm was already irreparable. Friendships are severed. Trust is damaged. A marriage that may not weather the storm. All because one woman finally had enough. Moreover, Karlie's motivations, her impact was apparent, and the discussion over her legacy would continue. She had altered the flow of the show, of lives and truths that had been buried in plain sight for far too long. It was messy, it was painful, was raw, but above all, it was genuine. So now that the dust is still settling, and the truth, or at least parts of it, has been brought into the light. The question is, what happens next? Is Rashida walking away from Kirk for good this time? Or will she once again attempt to hold the fractured parts together? Will Kirk eventually come up and share his side? Or will his silence continue? Scream louder than any words could. And how about Karlie? Was she seeking justice or just having a moment in Thessaloniki? Is she the hero? Or the person who lit the match and watched everything burn? Fans are still divided. Though the internet is still bustling, and nothing seems settled. Everyone has an opinion, but nobody has all of the answers. Not yet. What's apparent is Season 13 of Love Hip Hop Atlantic has changed the script in ways no one predicted. The drama isn't only for the cameras anymore, it's seeping into real life. It is breaking apart relationships, reputations, and long-held illusions. But now we'd want to hear from you. Do you believe Karlie did the right thing in revealing Kirk's suspected secret life? Should Rashida finally leave, or is there still something to fight for? And what do you think Kirk is hiding by being silent? Share your opinions in the comments section below. Because the conversation is far from ended. Don't forget to like the video. If you're as shocked as we are, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, and click that bell to be the first to catch every twist, every reception, and each explosive moment. We're just getting started, so trust this season is not